Are you looking how to draw one of these by hand? Today we have a full, in-depth design example per the ASCE 716 provisions. Are you looking to design that, find this, find that, this, and everything in between? Then you've come to the right spot. A building site in California has the following design spectral response acceleration parameters determined from Chapter 11 in the ASCE 716. We also have mapped long period transition period evaluated from figure 22, which is in Chapter 22 of the 716 as well. We're given the following criteria. We want to design our response spectrum. So we're making that graph that we all see all the time, but are we really familiar enough to create it? That's what we're doing today. Let's start this problem by heading into Chapter 11. I think it's section 11.4 within the 716. See you in there. We already have our SDS and our SD1 provided to us, and we also have our long period TL provided to us. So all that stuff is done, and we can move forward from there. And in order to create this line on the graph, you have to take a look at your X and Y axis of this graph. So on the X axis, you have your period T, and that starts from 0 all the way to your long period and beyond, and you have subsequent intermediate periods of importance that we are going to solve for. And then on your y-axis, that is your spectral response acceleration, S sub A. And then you see you have points of interest as well, SD1 and SDS. Again, those were provided to us. So what we are finding today is we're finding our spectral response acceleration, S sub A, at points along different periods, T. And that data then creates this line graph. All right, so number 1. For periods less than T naught, the design spectral response acceleration, S sub A, shall be taken in the given equation. So for T less than or equal T sub naught, you will be using this equation to find S sub A. You will use that equation to find, if I go green here, this portion of line, okay? Then, on the next sheet, you have step 2. For periods greater than or equal to T naught and less than or equal to T sub S, the design spectral response acceleration, S sub A, shall be taken equal to SDS. So now this is for T naught greater than or equal to T, but less than T sub S. Your S sub A will just be equal to SDS. I know we don't have these values yet, so hang on. I will be plugging in real values for this. And that gets you this portion of the graph. You know what? Let's go, I guess, we'll do this. This is step 1. This portion of the line is step 2. We keep going here. I'm just trying to get you familiar with this graph. Then you have step 3. For periods greater than T sub S and less than or equal to T sub L, that's your long period, the design spectral response acceleration, S sub A, shall be taken as the given equation here. So now you'll use this equation for instances when T is greater than or equal to T sub S, but is less than T sub L, your long period. Now you see right here, when they give you this little cheat sheet, kind of inside glimpse, you'll use that portion to find that portion of the graph. And as you notice, when they give those parameters between, when you're using a period between T sub S and T sub L, well, that corresponds exactly to these dashed lines. Because you have T sub S here and T sub L here. So you're finding your data points along the graph between those 2 points, which is that entire curved portion right there. And now we need to find that last portion of the graph. Well, we've had step 1, 2, and 3. You guessed it. There is a step 4 right here. Now, for periods greater than your long period, T sub L, S sub A shall be taken with this equation right here. So now we're in the parameters of T being greater than T sub L. There you go. There's your long period. So from this point over gives you that portion of the graph. And that portion of the graph is step 4. Oh, I forgot to put step 3. Boom. Before we leave chapter 11, I actually want to then point out right below there, so they've given us all the equations in order to find our data points, but within those equations, there's variables where you're like, hey, how do I find this or that? Or how do I find those important milestone periods on this x-axis here? Like TS, T long, T naught, how do I find that stuff? Well, you keep on moving forward after steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then they define everything for you right here. T naught, right there. T sub s, right there. T long. Now, although it was provided to us in this problem, what you would do is actually go to figure 22-14 through 22-17, depending on where your location is in the United States. And there is a map back there where you find your location and then you take the value given in that location for your long period. Now that you kind of have an understanding of how this graph is made and where the information and equations can be obtained, I am now going to complete the example problem with the numbers and the data that's been provided to us. So all this information came from section 11.4.6. T sub naught is equal to the equation as follows. We have all of that information, so we can plug in. That's T naught, 0.12 seconds. T sub s is equal to that equation. We plug in. That gets us 0.62 seconds for T sub s. And then T long is just equal to 8 seconds. And again, this one, although it was provided to us, you would find in chapter 22. So we have T sub naught, T sub s, and T sub l. Well, what next? Well, now we have all the information that we need to plug in and use the equations to find different data points of S sub a along our period. So first stage, some period t, which is greater than or equal to 0, but is less than or equal to T sub naught. From our equations above, that's the same thing as this. S sub a is equal to the following equation, and if we plug in for that, we get the following. So I'm highlighting this equation in blue because you are going to use this to find your S sub a values when you plug in values of t that are within the parameters shown here in green. When your period is greater than or equal to T sub naught, but is less than or equal to T sub s. That gets you the following based on what we found from above, and your spectral acceleration equation is as follows. That one was a doozy. All right, this one's easy. I should say there's no t that you're plugging into the equation. It's just a constant number, which is equal to your SDS when you're plugging in values of t that are between those parameters. Keep that in mind, and you'll see how that corresponds in the graph in a second here. Quickly to reference back to chapter 11, so everyone's still on track here. This is section 1. That's section 2. Now we're going on to section 3. So for intervals of t, where t is greater than or equal to T sub s, but is less than or equal to T sub l, we have the following equation. Highlight it in blue, save it for later. Step 4, when t is greater than t long. Any intervals of t that are greater than 8 seconds, which is our long period in this case, you have to use the following equation. That equals the following. Highlight it blue, so we keep track of it again. Now, from all of this information, from our 4 equations, we can now plug in values of t, starting from 0 and going as long as you really want to. We are going to create a table of data points to then create your design response spectrum. All right, so let's find some data points. Now, I want to point out a couple things for us. This is T sub naught. This is T sub s. This is T sub l. For this value, we used equation 1. For these 2 values, we used equation 2. For these values, we used equation 3. And then for these values, we used equation 4. That's how everything was broken up. Now, when you plug the data as we've shown it here into something like Excel, you'll notice that it's a little choppy. That's just because it's a limited amount of data points that we've determined here. So if you were to plug in so many more data points and intervals of t, that gets you more values of spectral acceleration, which then smooths out your curve. It defines it further and further. So the more data points you create, the more well-defined your curve is going to be. So I've left us a blank graph, but I have inserted kind of hash marks for all of our important datum points along our spectrum here. And these just mimic as they show in the figure in chapter 11. There's nothing out of the ordinary that I've done here. S sub A is 0.22 at a period of 0 seconds. So 0 being the beginning. That's going to land us somewhere along here. And then the next point of 0.12, which gets us an acceleration of equal to SDS. And then from here, your spectrum remains constant until T sub S, which is located here. And at 1 second, we have 0.34, which is SD1. And then at your long period, we have a value of 0.04, which is going to be pretty low here. And then we have a value further out past your long period. And if we put all those together, you get the following. Now, I know you're looking at it and you're like, that doesn't quite look how you normally see it. I get it. It's just based on my hand sketch that I did here today. The values and the data points are correct, but I know if I go highlighter here, you're kind of more used to seeing something like this, and then it kind of gets a little more extreme or something like that. That's even too extreme, but it does something kind of like that is what you're more used to. Again, it's just from my hand sketch here. But if you were to then take this data, plug it into Excel, highly recommend doing that, you will then get the refined graph that you're looking for. You've now just designed a response spectrum based on information of this theoretical site in California. So great job to all of you. It's been highly recommended, and I know I'm learning a lot myself every single day, so I'm going to continue to do them unless you guys slap me across the face and tell me otherwise in the comments down below. But if you liked today's content, give it a like. That always helps out the channel, helps us reach more engineers from around the world, and helps people grasp and understand the concepts behind how we design structures nowadays. Without further ado, this is Rich with Team Kestävä, and I will catch everybody next time. Later.